Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is Norbert Morvan.
Volcanoes are nature's fury.
I love this. I knew this would happen. I knew.
Yeah.
Oh man! And then the whole time, Sam Richardson's just going, "I like this kid." He's like, "I wish I had something like this in high school." Like
Yeah.
Listen, Sam Richardson. I love Werewolves Within. And I love him in Veep. His delivery is amazing. But in this movie, I think he's perfect. He's like, "Welcome to Miami." He's like, "Well, I'm happy Will Smith wasn't alive to see this." And
Of all the things that people say are predictable, that was the one joke I said, okay, the Will Smith joke is coming.
yeah.
And he nailed it.
He's like,
He nailed it. His delivery is amazing.
he's like,
always.
that guy's wearing a chef's hat. He's like,
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. You know? And it should have been a really large hint that they were just saying, look, all we're going to do is give you clothes that cover your exposed body parts. Good luck.
Yep.
Here's a gun. Aim for the throat and the belly. Godspeed. See you in 7 days. It's like, wait, what?
Boom.
We're not doing no training.
No push-ups.
Whatsoever.
No nothing.
We're not doing no target practice even, you know? And let's do target practice at least, for Christ's sake. Let's do something. But yeah, man, he comes out, Sam comes out, and Martin, the ancient volcano hero, absolutely, man. It was a celebration of blurs, bro. Me, 40-plus-year-old blurred, I loved it, man. It was a beautiful thing. He was like, oh, yeah, that was me as a kid. And I was like, yeah, me too.
I knew this would happen. I was like, oh, man, I love this scene so much. And he's like, I'm wearing a jacket. He's like, this is more for function, but I can't wear cargo shorts, which makes more sense.
and then
perfection.
You know, it really hits you when the 7 days are up and he comes back and he's just got the 1,000-yard stare. I hid.
Yeah.
And I said, word, I feel you, bro. I'd have done the same. I'm
Yeah.
not playing with these things. I'm not playing with these things. I'm just glad you're okay. Like, I was really, really happy that he was okay because I thought he was doomed. They killed Marilyn Rascue.
Yeah, she got wiped out. Never, you know, that one guy got mad at them for going down to rescue the guy who broke his leg, but they're not going to run fast on top of that building anyway, and they need to get down from there anyhow. Like, either way, they're screwed. Yeah. Like, what?
They're doomed.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I love this movie, Norbert, and I am so happy that you wanted to cover this because this, to me, $200 million budgeted film, gigantic set pieces. The Miami set piece in the beginning feels like a finale set piece. The scene where they're getting the queen out of the lair, and then there's an awesome Humvee chase, finale of a movie. The gigantic water set piece where they get overrun, finale of a movie. The finale of the movie, and the final fight in this movie, when Chris Pratt, Dad Pratt, has stabbed the queen alien, and its arm is melting off, and the alien just bites its arm off.
That was an incredible dodge, bro. That was incredible. You didn't see that coming, because I didn't.
Megan went, Mark, your jaw's open. Not in a bad way, but I was just sitting there going, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
You have incredibly jacked Simmons in this movie. You have Dad Pratt. Energy. I mean, you know what, too? Listen, this is one thing I love about this movie. When you think about action films and father-daughter relationships, you have True Lies, you have Commando, you just have the daughter gets kidnapped, the daughter gets kidnapped, the father goes and saves her. In this one, Colonel Murray Forrester is like, hey, Dad, I just brought you back so you can take this back. And he's like, you're going to save the world. And she's a beast in this movie. You know what's cool, too?
She is.
Like, Yvonne in this movie, like, I was a big fan of Chuck. You know, when you and I were living in Korea, whenever I traveled, I would bring my fancy iPod, and I would watch episodes of Chuck whenever I traveled, because I was like a huge fan of Chuck. But watching her in this movie, she said something great. She isn't just like an action hero badass. There's this really great grounding element to her. So she's not Linda Hamilton, right? She's not an absolute beast mode. She's like real chill. Like when she's chilling with her vest in the science lab with her dad, researching, saving the world, blowing people up. Like, it's a grounded, cool character. And but like, you never see that father-daughter just hanging out. No one's rescuing anybody. There's no kidnapping. That's so rare in cinema. It
is.
It's always someone kidnapped. And so seeing that, I loved, you know, when he gets back in time. And then I love, you know, listen, I love that he teamed back up with Dorian and Charlie, because I love those two guys, man. I'll die on my own terms. And just,
that's it.
Oh man, I don't care. This movie makes me so happy, dude. This is a summer blockbuster that I wish would have been on big screens. I wouldn't have gone and seen it, but I wish it would have been on big screens.
Timing, yeah, timing. That's all.
Because
Just timing.
it's fun, man. Like it's fun. It's good.
It's very simple.
Simple.
It's very simple. It's a very simple lizard brain reaction you get watching this movie. Okay? And it's derivative. Hello? It's 2000. We're in the 21st century, bro. Movies have been out for over a century. Everything is derivative. I'm sorry. It won't stop. No idea is original. My man Nas said that, okay? So it's either you liked it or you didn't like it. I was saying to you before, brother, if The Fifth Element came out today, people would have shredded that movie on social media because the aliens look goofy. Why are they overacting? The dude that plays the president has a lazy eye, and just taking shots at it, blah 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 blah. And that movie, watching it as an adult, I really appreciate what Besson was trying to do now, because it's a similar thing to this. Not to say that The Fifth Element is not as good as this movie. I'm not saying that at all. I love The Fifth Element. It's crazy. I'm just saying that you throw just this situation on the screen. Yes, it's science fiction. That doesn't mean it has to be super deep and serious and mopey and ominous. We can have some light moments. We can have actors just chewing scenery and just bugging out. You know, multipass. I love that. You know what I'm saying? And so here we are with this movie. Pratt, I believe him as a father. I believe him as a scientist way more than Marky Mark. I'm a scientist. I'm an engineer. I'm going to help the Transformers. Let's go, bruh. Come on.
What?
You gotta save. Yeah. Okay. Somebody tried to tell you that Marky Mark was a scientist, bro, and you believe that to the tune of $1 billion. Those Transformers movies keep making money. So why are we shooting
Excalibur in those movies?
Okay. For those of you that can't see, I'm holding my face with my hand right now. Just unbelievable. Yeah, he did wield Excalibur. The energy that Pratt has with his daughter, Muriel. Name's Muri. Was it short for Muriel? They establish at the beginning of the movie where somehow, to me, quite frankly, the thing that killed my suspension of disbelief the most was that there was a Christmas party somewhere in the United States where a bunch of people were watching the World Cup live from Dubai. To me, that was the most, what? That's not going to happen thing of the entire movie. Like, we're not watching soccer on Christmas. No way, bro. It's America. But he hangs out with his daughter, and they're so cute together, man. Their chemistry is great. You know what I'm saying? He bribes the daughter so that she will perjure herself and say that she cut the cable in the backyard. And she's 20.
I love that scene.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
So they really established that daddy-daughter energy is real. And as much as she tries to be like, I didn't bring you back so I could spend time and get to know with you, he breaks that. He breaks that. And he gives an honest performance. Stop hating on Chris. Yeah. He's not the worst. He's not the worst, Chris.
Just watching these scenes now with her and just like him tearing up and then seeing his daughter at the end. And he's like, I learned the whole time that like what was in front of me is what is great, because when he got home, he's like, I want my life to mean something. But he's like, oh, I'm an idiot. Like what I got is great. Like I love my life right now. Like I got what I need in front of me. Like I teared up big time, man. There's several, like when they're hanging out, when they're just chatting, doing the sciencey stuff with the alien that they take their eyes off for a little bit and it wakes up. And then when they're talking on the beach, and I love the way they filmed that. The director said he just let them go wherever, and the DP had to deal with it. So the focus pullers were like, I hate life. But man, I was getting teared up like watching these scenes. Like I thought Pratt found a really good authenticity to himself, and I've always liked him. Like I think this is one of his best performances. I mean,
agreed.
I don't think there's a false step in it. I think it's just a really efficient, and most importantly, when it comes to action, it's like it's always nice when you believe the person doing the action. And so like I bought into Chris with the machine guns, and like he puts in a lot of work, the way he stands, the way he shoots, and like everyone around him. Yeah. He put the work in. He's believable as an action hero. So is Yvonne Strahovski. Like she's been doing this forever. So you buy into that. You buy into the relationship, and yeah, then there's this massive overrunning of gigantic aliens that are mean.
All of them. All of them. When the aliens come, it's never two. It's all of them.
Yeah.
All the time. And what I really appreciated about this movie is so many times when you see the outer space creature, it's got some kind of dark hue to it. And so it can be hard to see. These things are bone white, man, and just tentacly as hell. Okay? And then they keep on just popping up with new powers. Okay?
Yeah.
So as they get into the room, because this is CSAR, Combat Search and Rescue, and they get into that hospital, and you're seeing spikes sticking out the wall. Wait a minute, is that why they're the white spikes? The hell's going on? Okay, so now they zoom in on the face of the thing in the stairwell.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just the creepiest noises, right? Because you get that sense of, oh my God, these people are going to be murdered from the PTSD meeting. Oh, here's the clicking. Oh, here's the clicking.
Yeah.
And every second person in the room is missing vital limbs. And then finally you get to see this thing. And they shoot projectiles. And then later on they fly. Yeah. I was like, what? When they glide when the helicopter comes, cool, they got away. They captured the queen. And then they just start gliding. I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm hiding.
Yep.
I believe you.
Give me a bunker.
You're right. We're hiding because it's just all of them. It's all of them, and they're bone white. And if you've, it sounds weird, but if you've ever seen a dead person, they are pale. Dead things are pale. Dead things are white, like blinding white, because the absence of color, there's no blood moving. So making them white was creepy as hell.
Yeah, and it really differentiated them from the xenomorphs.
Absolutely.
From other creatures, and just
absolutely.
And what I love too is like they Chris Pratt said that they were like part shrimp, part spider, part termite. Like the white termites, and like just I kind of love that about them. And even the director, what's cool about this? The director directed the Lego Batman movie, which I love.
Yeah,
Chris McKay.
It's a great Batman.
That lobster Thermidor, and he's doing Renfield, but like this guy just he worked with some of the best VFX places. So he worked with Weta, he worked with Framestore, Method and Luma. So he worked with, $200 million will do that. But yeah, he worked with some absolute beasts of VFX world. And I love these monsters, man. Like, and what's nice too? I wrote down some notes where I like movies where, like The Descent, Tremors, Alien, Underwater, A Quiet Place It Follows. They just kill, dude. Like they just, like the monsters in A Quiet Place just kill you. Like they don't.
That's it.
They're not gonna play hacky sack with you. Like
nope.
They're not pointing to the sky and calling home. They're gonna destroy your face
as quickly as possible.
Economically.
Yeah. When they thought that they get out of the building, they get all the material, they're running to the LZ, the Hummers come, and every single person is like, yeah, they're going to get picked up. No, these things flip over Humvees like pogs, and then just proceed to eat the drivers. I was like, you know what? This is not going well.
Yeah.
This is not going. They already lost 3/4 of them just from teleporting into the streets of Miami.
We had a
bouncing
glitch
off of buildings. Yeah. Can we do better?
Yeah.
Please. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, they wasted all that time with basic training and sent those people in. But, what I like about this movie too is there's some really cool twists. There's some nice dad-daughter relationship. There's some cool monsters, but the camera work and the storytelling is just very meat and potatoes. I don't think ever once there's a shot that's like Dutch angle, Sam Raimi, or there is the scene where she's on the Humvee shooting and the camera's behind her. That just looks cool though. It gets movement going, it creates that. But I think it's a very meat and potatoes shot film. It's effectively shot. So like Larry Fong, the DP, he's a Zack Snyder's guy, so he knows how to point a camera at things. Sure. So you have a director who has a background in animation. And what he said was, he's like, I just know how to pack a frame full of stuff, when you're an animator. So he knows how to pack a frame. You have a DP. You have a really great cast. And it's just a summer blockbuster, meat and potatoes. Let's blow up some aliens. Let's throw in a cool story about a father-daughter. Let's even toss in a twist where we got to go back to the past to go find out where they are to blow them up. Right. Like, let's get the thing with it. So it's there's enough twists and turns, but man, this is just I don't know if you ever listened to it or heard him, but Aaron Newworth, he has the Out Now with Aaron and Abe podcast, and I join him on the show sometimes. I do commentaries with him. But yeah, he sent me a message last year, and he's like, "You're gonna love this movie." Like, he just sent that to me. He's like, "Watch it." He's like, "Trust me," because like, he knows my taste pretty good. And then I watched it, and I was like, "I love this movie. This is a really good movie." And listen, it has a good IMDb score, but it pains me to see that. It's like, listen, I don't want to spend the entire thing complaining about like the score, but it's 50%, and a lot of critics were like, it's derivative and it borrows, and I'm like, did you watch the same? At 15 minutes, he is getting his arm bracelet on. At 20 minutes, he's meeting his dad. You're learning about his airplanes. Then he goes to basic. He goes to basic. You meet a few people. They shoot him in. He's in Miami. Then he's with his daughter. And then there's a battle scene capturing a queen. And then they try to do some science, gigantic battle scene. And then they send him back in time. He reunites with his really cool friends. They talk to Awesome Volcano Kid. They go back to his dad, all ties together. Right. They're back in the snow with the future people, and they're blowing up the aliens. Like, it's very, like, I love World War Z, that movie World War Z, because I feel like it's just like A, B, C, D. Like, oh, we're in here. Oh, we got to run to the plane. We're traveling here. Oh, we got overrun. Let's run over here. Oh, we're overrun. Let's run over here. Like, give me those movies all day, like the forward momentum. And I think this movie just has a lot of it. And when it does slow down, you just have a cool story that you never see much of, like a father-daughter story. It's nice not having like the, oh, hey girl, like Diz and Rico and Diz and Starship Troopers, and then Denise Richards, the love triangle. It's just nice. Like, here's my daughter. Like,
terrible love triangle.
There's no love story. Like,
none. Just other than the love of daddy and daughter.
That's right. And it, throw in some cool visuals, man. Throw in some fun stuff, and it all ties together with the Volcano Kid. There's like a global warming this message snuck in here.
Yeah. The sense of urgency that you mentioned is strong, and that's what drives the movie forward constantly. Mm-hmm. Because we gotta go. You know what? We do have a time machine, but you know what? It doesn't work that way. Okay. Sorry, we can't just. Sorry, we can't just go back to Miles Bennett Dyson's house and shoot him in the face. Sorry, can't do that, because you see, time travel works like rafts on the river, you see, and it's always moving forward. And then the giant club lights open, and next thing you know, you're being pulled apart and sucked into a wormhole and deposited into hell 30 years from now. Yep. Okay? And that's just the way it is, brother. Sorry. So you want to talk derivative? Let's talk derivative then. People from the future want to go back to the past to change things.
Yeah.
We find that out at the end of this movie, not at the beginning. Mm-hmm. It comes up as a natural part of the plot, because she just drops it, man. There's only 500,000 people left on the planet. Right now, do you know there are 8 billion people on Earth, brother?
Yeah.
Like, that part just hit me, too. She just goes, guess when you're down to 500,000 people on the planet, you wear a few hats. And it just goes, I always figured you'd go into science. That just washes right over him. I love that.
Yeah.
But, so they take that from Terminator. Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not, we don't know that that's the whole point of it. Mm-hmm. Because she's just like, look, we'll be dead in 3 weeks. Like, there won't be any people left in 3 weeks. So go back, take this thing, and then just wait. Whereas in Terminator, you're going to go back and protect Sarah Connor. And then part 2, we're going to go back and shoot Miles Bennett Dyson in the face. Not really, though. It's not the same thing. Not at all. Ancient spaceship containing horrific creatures frozen under the ice. That's the thing. We give a knock on wood to our man, John Carpenter, for really updating that movie. But, again, what are we derivating?
And the thing's based on a book that was a movie that became, like, the thing is essentially the second adaptation of a book.
It was. That's right.
Yeah.
It was the second. It was a reboot.
Yeah.
Before we called them that. That's right. So what are we deriving here? We're deriving bits and pieces of things. You know what? Hey, jerk. Guess what? There would be no music. And I'm not even talking about hip hop, because people just get ideas from stuff and then tweak it and use it again to make something new and original. It's called humanity, bro. Yep. Shut up. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of all of you just hating on things, man. And try and enjoy stuff, okay? Are you paying attention to the world around you? Let's enjoy something while we still have time, while the lights are on. I'm Norbert Morvan.
Let's enjoy something that's good, that put $200 million in this. The other day, I did something kind of pretentious with my students. I pulled up the movies of the 1940s, and I went sequel, reboot, sequel, sequel, knockoff, 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 sequel, reboot, remake. That was a remake. That was a reboot. Oh, there's a sequel. Another Frankenstein movie. Sequel.
Right.
Like I was like, the Hollywood's been out, like we've been out of ideas for the longest time in Hollywood. And like you said, with music, right? Like you pull different inspirations from where you're from. You grow up listening to music, loving music, and so when you make music, you pull elements of that. Like
that's it.
Like I'm not gonna listen to nothing but folk, but then start a metal band. Like I don't know, you know, like it's I don't know what that means, but you know what I mean. But it's this movie though. It goes back in the past. They have to go kill the thing. Like it's not sure. It's not like, but I mean, Edge of Tomorrow, right? Universally praised, beautiful movie. But it takes the Groundhog Day concept. Yes. It takes the total jerk, right, who has to become a better man through the process. Like but everyone's like, that movie's amazing.
Those things are absolutely xenomorph-ish.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're sitting there thinking, like, the biggest problem for me is if you're annoyed with derivative movies. Mad Max Fury Road is Stagecoach, right? So let's just get that out there. It borrows heavily from Stagecoach. You watch Stagecoach. And then it borrows from all the other Mad Max movies, which borrow from Stagecoach. Watch Star Wars.
Right.
Like, it's...
Right.
I mean, watch a Tarantino movie, then watch Sergio Leone films. Right? Watch a Paul Schrader movie, then go watch The Pickpocket.
Exactly.
What was that called? The Killers. And then go watch, like, Bonnie and Clyde. Like, I mean... Like the French way, the German, like watch a Tim Burton movie, then go watch The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, right? It's, but the problem with me is when it becomes selective, and when you feel like it's not because of the movie, it's because of your feelings towards someone else, or you don't like somebody in the movie, so you're like, oh, it's derivative. Right. You look at most other movies, they are derivative, like Aquaman, hero's journey, Black Panther, hero's journey, like the core concept. Right. So I don't like how people pick and choose, and we're always going to do that. We're never going to change humanity, Norbert. But for me, I kind of have an issue when it's, you know, you have an understanding of cinema. You know that most things are borrowed, and then you go, well, yeah, but that movie's derivative. And you're like, why are you singling this one out? Like, why?
Right.
Like,
right. How have you suddenly become Roger Ebert, Pulitzer Prize winning critic of this random movie that's come out of nowhere to just try to give us a break for a little while? I mean, and then especially when that movie came out at the time, bro, we were inside.
Yeah.
Like, why are we hating this movie? Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I have some more of this, please?
Yeah.
You know, Michael Jordan's The Last Dance came out at that time. Perfect. Like the planet watched that together. And we don't get those things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where we just get to all sit down and have an event. We all watched the Challenger blow up on TV, unfortunately. And that was like, wow, where were you? You know, we don't get a lot of those type of where were you moments anymore. Mm-hmm. And this is not one of them, but this is something that gave us, hey, this is just a ridiculous movie. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I guess I just don't like when there's agenda to the calling a movie out for borrowing, because
absolutely.
That is a slippery slope that you will never come back from, because you will have to say that every movie borrows. I mean, Thor 4 just came out. Like it's the same event. I mean, but then people love it, and you're thinking
it was basically part 3 again.
Yeah, and so you're kind of like, who cares? Like all movies do this. Like I love watching soccer, Norbert. Same crap happens. Different teams. Someone kicks a ball. I still love it. It's give me an action movie. Do action things happen in this?
And then you get a review, and a reviewer writes, he proclaims at the film start, I'm meant to do something special with my life, as so many mediocre middle-aged white men have before him. This is that thing. It's like, come on, man. You jumped into this movie just like,
hating.
I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with this. You know what I'm saying? When you write that, you weren't going to like this movie regardless. And that leads to what I think is the main reason why people don't like this movie. The worst Chris debate.
Yeah.
I really think that's what happened. I really think so.
It's strong. And I just want to say one thing. So where I teach,
it is strong.
I have a lot of students on the GI Bill at my college, and so I get a lot of former military students. My students are a lot of former military. And I'm telling you, man, a lot of them don't know what they're doing with their lives. Like they were in the military, and then they weren't. They weren't prepared for life after the military, and so they're kind of in a weird stasis of, what am I doing? Is that so? Mm-hmm. What Chris Pratt is going through he's clearly happy with his daughter. He's happy with his family, but he's still
movie,
trying.
yeah.
Like he's still like he's just trying for more after like a lifetime. And like, sure, it's kind of bratty. I was watching it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I mean, a lot of vets go through that, man. Like, it's so when people just call out like, oh, middle-aged guy doing this, you're like, God, you just don't like
It's
him.
like, come on, man. Yeah, just say you don't like Chris Pratt, and then let's move on.
Yeah.
Like then give me real parts of the movie that you didn't like, versus this, that, and the third. And then after that it was, well, it's derivative. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go make a sandwich. I'm done talking to you. Because for God's sake, man, what do we enjoy here? And then the people who would, oh, he's basically invincible in this movie. Did you not grow up watching Schwarzenegger like I did? Those guys were invincible, bro.
Tony Stark is in a suit getting punched. He's fine. Like, Clint Barton and Natasha, they're humans. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, you know what's interesting? If that's what you complain about all the time, love it.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you're just calling out one movie and you just watched Hobbs and Shaw and loved it, you need to really check your priorities, because just say I hate it, Chris Pratt, F. Okay,
just
respect.
say you don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him. Respect.
Thank you, bro.
Like,
Thank you.
You know, I for some reason I know people who don't like Leo DiCaprio. It's like, I don't like him. F. Like, don't make up excuses.
Dude, Critters 3 was awesome. Critters 4.
But yeah, I mean, like that review read, I feel like that's a lot of them. And
a lot of them are.
It was kind of funny though. I was talking to somebody about it, and I was kind of saying like, yeah, man, the reviews are really making me mad. He's like, well, did you like it? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, that's all that matters, dude. And it's true, but I just think it just bothers me when. And like you said, with the whole Pratt thing, I don't read that much about him, but I do know he got someone said he went to the church with, that
he's in a weird church.
Yeah, but they said he went to a church with gay conversion. Terrible, like that's I don't even know why that exists in the in the 21st century.
Let's leave people alone. Right.
I laugh when things are terrible. Just giving you a heads up. But like, but the thing is, he never went to that church though. But he never said he didn't, because he said he just didn't want to like throw people under the bus. I mean. Like maybe but he kept his mouth shut. Yeah. He's like, I never went there, but everyone hated him for that. And then I don't want to get into like a marriage with him and Honest Ferris, and like everything sort of turned. He became he was the guy, right? And then he posts the Instagram post with like the cross, and then that comes out, and then now everyone hates him.
That's pretty much it.
Like he made some comments about Israel Adesanya during his recent 185 middleweight title fight at UFC, the recent UFC. And Pratt was like, yeah, like he came out like the Undertaker saying he was going to murder a guy, and he, beat him by decision. Israel fought a great fight. He left the champion and he wasn't hurt. As a prize fighter, that's the best thing you can do. But then Pratt later on was like, hey man, I'm really sorry, dude. Like I shouldn't have made that comment. Like you're the fighter, I'm the actor. My bad. But then there was reports out like Chris Pratt grovels, and Chris Pratt, and it's like, man, like I was like, what do we hate this? Let's hate people for real reasons. Like,
yeah, seriously.
Does that make sense? Seriously. And I know this isn't a Tomorrow War, but I think a lot of people really took that.
This is where the hate comes from.
Yeah.
You and I, this is a hill that we can die on. People suddenly don't like Chris Pratt, so this movie's terrible. Period.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man. We have worse people doing worse things. We have people doing actual horrible things to people, and people are still buying their music and watching their movies. Let's leave Chris Pratt alone, okay? Also, you probably didn't pay for this, Your parents did. You know what I mean? You're basically getting mad at a movie that came out on the equivalent of basic cable in the 21st. And it's like, come on, man. You didn't pay $20 to go see this in a theater, because it only came out in like select countries, and I don't think America was one of them, to be honest with you. So what are we talking about here, man? Let's enjoy this movie. Let's enjoy little things like Tuna Santa, because nobody ate it.
Yes.
And I definitely wanted to get in on that, bro. It looked like we had some Crispits, some whisper. What do you call those little crackers? Wheat thins, something like that.
Wheat thins and tuna. That's a good mix. Put some cheese on it. Remember that back in the day?
Dude. She put her whole, as we black people say, she put her foot in that. That looked good. Santa looked real good.
A lot of people are mad. They're like, Betty Gilpin should have been the hero of this movie. And I think Betty Gilpin is not utilized well. She's great in Glow, and I love her in that movie The Hunt. So sure, yes, I do think her character of her stature and the run she was on was underutilized in this movie. But I know she got a lot of stuff cut out. But at the end of the day, this is a movie about a father. I mean, listen, a mother plays a part in a father-daughter. But also, this is kind of a father-daughter tale.
It was more of a daddy-daughter tale.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff in the beginning with daddy-daughter sets up for how in the middle, why is she so pissed at him? He seemed like he was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, snap, he left? What the hell is going on? Yeah. He got hit by a car? What? And then they reconcile.
Mm-hmm.
And then she dies horribly.
Horribly.
Quite frankly. She dies horribly. She's gut shot with an alien spike.
Oof.
And then falls into what is literally a burning sea of aliens. And that's the last thing he sees of her. And when he comes back, and everybody, oh, we missed you. He's like, nah, I'm PTSD now. Don't talk to me anymore. Like, no, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
And, like, she gets his back.
He handled that really well.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's... yeah, but like you said, there's so many other little moments in this. Like, I love the white spikes. I love that they're talking about how, you know, the people who are sent into the future, they're dead already. Like, they're people who, if you go 30 years in the future...
such a great little thing.
Yeah, it's like, okay, why did I get called? Well, because you're dead. So you won't see yourself, and there'll be that paradox. And when they're explaining time, like, why don't you just ship me back to, 96 so I can go watch, 97 so I watch Con Air in the theater. We can't do that. We have 2 jumps. It's put together by duct tape and spit. That's it.
River raft time travel. River raft.
You set up the volcanoes in the beginning. You just, like, I don't know.
Chekhov's volcano, brother. Chekhov's volcano. That's probably the first time ever Chekhov's volcano made an appearance in a movie, We are team not eaten. That was great. You know what I'm saying? We're team not eaten.
I love that line.
Some great lines in this thing, yeah.
And then he slides on the ground and just shoots that thing and comes back for Pratt. Like, that was awesome. Like, and then that attack, man, like, you know what's nice too is so many people die in this movie.
So many.
People aren't safe. People are not safe because these creatures are not safe creatures.
No.
You are also too, man. Chris Pratt rams a queen alien with a snowmobile.
Yes, America. That's what I screamed the first time I saw that movie. And he hit a creature with a snowmobile and jumped off it and then rolled into a combat position. I was like, America. That was America, bro.
Oh man, and they shot this movie in Atlanta, but they also went to Iceland to shoot with the snowmobiles.
Nice.
And like they found cool locations. This is a movie that it globe trots, but you also don't feel that it skimps on extras. There's some big set pieces in this movie with a lot of people and a lot of locations. And it's just nice covering the globe. It's nice having that. And I think you said a great thing too about when you go into Miami, they do that stupid thing where like, well, it's best left unsaid because if we showed you now, it's like, that's not a smart tactic, fellas. Tell me they shoot spikes from their arms. Like, just
please, give me something, right?
I'm not gonna show you a picture, but they shoot spikes from their arms. They shoot lasers from their eyes. They fly. They're strong as Superman. The only way to kill them is to have you know Ant-Man? Ant-Man going into Thanos. Like, that's how you can kill him. Have you seen The Boys? Like then I'd be like, oh, we're dead. But just give him some information. But I love how we learn with him. Like, we're going through the world and they're seeing. It's a good way to set up some characters. And during an interview, the director, they were like, hey, this feels like an old school Bruckheimer picture with a deep bench of actors, and just sit there and enjoy it. Like, enjoy this movie. Just embrace it. And the director's like, yeah. He's like, I grew up with those movies. I love those movies. And he said, I went out of my way to just make people have a good time. So, yeah.
I'll tell you.
It makes me happy.
I'll tell you. You know what? As we talk about it, I realize now exactly why they didn't give them any information. They're supposed to be cannon fodder to buy time for Yvonne.
Yeah, to get a cure.
It just hit me.
Yeah.
It just hit me.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It just hit me. That's why.
I wish
cannon fodder.
I had the same face as you, because I was like, why do they send him why don't they just send people back to go kill him? But then I went, oh, they need time.
That's it. They're trying to buy time. The whole exercise is buying time.
Yeah.
So they're withholding information because she's probably withholding information too.
Mm-hmm.
Because look how long she strings Chris Pratt along before she tells him, okay, so this is really what's happening.
Yeah.
and we're all going to be dead in 3 weeks.
By time, and also too,
Wow.
the original script, the people getting sent into the future, they didn't get the basic training because their bodies were injected with a poison and they didn't know it, and that poison killed the monsters when they ate them.
Oh, I would have liked that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. That would have been an unbelievable twist, because then it would be like, so we're just cannon fodder?
Yeah. Like that was in the original script, and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty nasty.
Ooh, that would have been nasty, because it's just like, look, we're all dead, and you're basically dead at this time, so it doesn't matter, you know? Another thing, too, is what people are calling derivative in this particular movie. In every other movie, they would call it an Easter egg. Like, for example, Predator. You get the nod to Predator when her team, the original team, is hanging from the ceiling, and she's like, they're going to come back and get them, so you better hurry up.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what they were doing with Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Except instead of trophies, it's food. Because they're just kind of eating everyone.
They eat. They're a parasite, man. They're what the xenomorphs are in what? Like the
Alien.
Yeah. They're weapons. They're biological weapons that have been created.
Yeah. That's something that that potentially will be discussed in a sequel. But if there is a sequel to this movie, I want to see the end. I want to see movie starts out clack clack clack, because I know you love keyboards and switches being flipped. And I wrote in my notes, there's not enough switch flipping for Mark in this movie, unfortunately. People switching and blinking lights and things like that. So the sequel opens up, boom, musical sting. Hey, everyone in Russia's dead. And it's like really weird, because yesterday they were all there. What's going on? Oh my God. It looks like something is coming out of Iceland. I want to see that movie.
Yeah.
I want to see that movie.
Pandemonium. Because
yeah.
You know what I love is that this movie's quite cynical as well. You have the global warming, but then you also have these people going, if governments learn about this spaceship in Russia, they're not going to do anything. Like, they're going to mess this up.
Said that. They literally said that. Yeah, we could just go to the UN and just have them talk about it until we die. Right.
Yeah, and it's quite cynical in that view. It's just like, it's kind of, there's almost, I don't know, it's like anti-government, but then it's also pro-science. So it's pretty, there's a lot packed in this as well. But
nobody likes to pay for research.
Yeah, I love that.
I was like, message. That's the entire message of the movie. Nobody wants to pay money for research.
When they said that, man, I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So, there's still a couple fun themes wedged in there. There's some good action wedged in there.
Right.
You like the characters. I mean, sure, I don't really understand their plan at the end. They didn't scout the entire ship. They're like, oh, here's 8 things, and then we're just going to do half and let them scream and wake up the other half. It's a terrible plan. But I've never been in the military, and I've never snuck into Russia to take out an alien species of just absolute demigorgons. So I mean, I can't speak to that. But it leads to a snowmobile hitting an alien. It leads to Jack Simmons calling what he calls an alien a dumbass when he snipes it. And then it's a fist fight with Chris Pratt going, die! And then he goes, did you tell it to die? You should have done that sooner. But
this is something I think we do need to dive into a little bit more. Let's talk about Zaddy J.K. Simmons, because good God, when he was in Whiplash, emotionally abusing that child into playing the drums as best he could, he also had the jacked arms, but it was nothing like this. The beard and the bald head, boy, they seal it. They seal it, man. All right?
In his 60s, just looking, Chris Pratt said he would just feel his muscles every day on set.
I would do the same thing.
Jacked Simmons. When I first saw him in this movie, it's just, I went, what is happening? What?
We're through the looking glass.
Yeah, this dude is an absolute beast. And then at the end when they were fighting, they're like blinding the alien. So it's just two dudes murdering a gigantic alien. And you know what's interesting? I watched the movie Alligator the other day, and I felt bad for the alligator that was killed because it was exploited. It got the toxic waste, and it really wasn't its fault. But these aliens seem to have been specifically bred for just murder.
They're the worst.
So you're like, kill that thing, kill them, knock that thing out. I do not like you. Like, kill this thing. And so,
not at all.
All those things lead to Jack Simmons, who seemingly has endless resources. He has a cargo jet. He has a Mustang. He has like a bullet Mustang.
Yes. From the 60s. From the 60s, kids. Google that. That car is awesome.
just an absolute beast. So he has wild resources.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Grow a beard or don't. Is that not great life advice? Grow a beard or don't.
Yeah.
Bro. What is this stubble? Grow a beard or don't.
And
Love
then
it.
when he comes to him, listen, I need to get a jet to fly a team into Russia illegally to blow up a spaceship. He's like, well, you always come to me when you need help.
I'll go get my coat.
Yeah.
He was just down. And child of divorce, Norbert Morvanis, never really held it against either one of my parents, though. You know, even when it was that weird time of, well, I want to hang out with dad. Well, mom always says, I never hated.
Mm-hmm.
I never didn't want to see one of my parents. The explanation that J.K. Simmons gives is basically, when I came back from Vietnam, I was still in murder mode.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hang out with you and your mom in murder mode.
Yeah.
And so I bailed. And I'm sorry. Because at the time, they didn't call it PTSD. They called it shell shock.
They called it being a wimp.
They told you to just drink and rub some dirt on it.
Stop being a for lack of a term, a biatch, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, what are you crying about, dude? You're still alive. Just smack your wife around because it's the 70s, okay? J.K. Simmons makes the very mature for the time decision. You know what? Maybe I don't want to slaughter my wife and child in just a PTSD-induced rage. I'm going to bail because psychiatry is not ready for what I need to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And just gets the riot act from Chris Pratt. And I get it because you're a kid and that absolutely hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, absolutely hurts. But when you see J.K. Simmons, his reactions to Chris Pratt throughout the movie is still of a father who loves his kid. He never really lets him have it beyond, you never needed anything from me. And I was like, okay, we could have come up with a better line of dialogue for that. Yeah. Because J.K. Simmons is a good enough actor so that he still projects, of course I love my kid. And I want to be a part of his life. But I just could not. I was not mentally ready coming back from Vietnam. And another one of the themes through this movie is just PTSD messes you up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because the shaking hand thing.
Oh, yeah, when he comes back.
The shaking hand thing, the PTSD quick meeting that we get with all the limbless people, talking about the clicking and like, I'll never sleep again, stuff like that. And so, yeah, J.K. Simmons' character was always down to help, period, point blank, and love his son. Like, he was waiting for Chris Pratt to get on board.
You make a great point.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And that's another reason why I don't understand the blinding hate for this movie. Because the cast is solid and they're bringing it, even when the dialogue is janky, you know?
It's interesting, too, because Pratt, they could have saved the whole I'm angry at my dad angle and just been like, I don't really know you.
Right.
Listen, I know I don't really know you. I said I didn't want anything from you. Does that make sense? Like, And then, you know, when two people already annoyed at each other for years, you're going to say something stupid off the bat, and it's going to set that other person off. And then no matter what the good intentions were, they're out the window because you're just two stubborn people going at each other, right? And I mean, they could have added that a little bit more. I don't think that. I still think it's somewhat effective, but just seeing him be all angry, Pratt, especially since he's a vet, it's
right. He should have understood.
Yeah, exactly. So
he explains it to him as like, this is basically my PTSD, bro, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's just like, shut up, old man.
You're being a wimp.
You're a coward. I was like, damn, really? He's a coward?
He's talking to a psychiatrist in the 70s, and then just like the psychiatrist is just going like pansy on like a thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The psychiatrist is like, he writes something on a paper, he gives it to J.K. Simmons. Well, what's this? It's an order for some kombucha. Go to the store, get a bottle, just deal with it, pansy. I mean, for Christ's sake, man, J.K. Simmons had at least 10 or 12 time travel devices in a freezer that he personally rigged to evade government detection.
Yeah.
Can we give him the benefit of the doubt, maybe? Pulls out a Desert Eagle, 50 caliber semi-auto, and doesn't just light you up when you invade his home.
Yeah.
I'm team J.K. Simmons, basically.
Jack Simmons in this movie.
Jack Simmons, bro.
Yeah.
And Pratt absolutely sounded like a narc. Well, you do have several vehicles and no particular source of income, and maybe you're doing other illegal things, father. Why don't you elucidate?
Yeah.
He absolutely sounded like a narc. He did.
He grabs his shirt. I love that scene.
You thought you were wearing a wire?
You're scary, Jack Simmons.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
I love too. They called him like what did he call him? Santa, paranoid Santa.
Conspiracy Santa is my greatest.
And then I love that scene where Sam Richardson brings an arsenal onto the airplane, and then that lady's like, "It's not even loaded." He's like, "The cabin's pressurized. Oh, if I shot this, it would go right through this." Like,
common sense.
But that's sometimes in movies, I do believe that when people read a script, because this script was originally very serious. This was a dour script, and so sometimes you feel the comedy tacked on. If that, like, you just go, "Oh man, that's a reshoot." It doesn't feel like that here. It feels quite organic. And I mean, the dude worked on the Lego Batman. He had worked with Pratt before, the director, and he had worked on Lego Batman. He understood comedy. So yeah, I mean, but I think they interjected the right amount of humor. Like, there's a scene where they're in Miami, and so they get destroyed in the staircase. The Humvees get destroyed, and then they're like, "Stay away from the red smoke," as they're running through the red smoke.
They run into it. Yeah, that was great to me. It's like, whoops.
There's some good bits of that, and it just builds. And also too, man, Yvonne's character in this, Yvonne Strahovski, Murray. I like Muriel.
I feel like it's Muriel. Yeah. Like anyway.
Potato Muriel.
Tomato.
Muriel.
Mercator.
Muriel, like in The Walking Dead.
Coral.
Like Coral. Coral. But yeah, they I don't know. I liked her quote a lot, and I don't know what you thought about that. Where, because you didn't really touch it. Like, we didn't touch on that, but she gets in a good, like, that big old turret in the Humvee, turns it and just starts lighting them up. But then later on, she's just in a lab chilling. Like, she's pretty chill with her dad, like talking about the Miami Dolphins and stuff. It's a really,
they still suck.
That's a new type of character for me, because I feel like a lot of times female characters have to be super, like, cagey, or
right.
I mean, I do think Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I mean, listen, Angelina Jolie was the beast, right? I mean, there was Linda Hamilton, there was oh man, who's that badass martial arts lady?
Michelle Yeoh.
Oh no, not Michelle Yeoh. She's amazing. The other she fought Michelle Yeoh in a fight.
Ooh. I know what you mean. I forget her name.
She was a beast, but like I think you get Angelina Jolie kind of like super hyper, like, sexualized as Tomb Raider, and then you get like Charlize Theron. She stepped up as like an action hero, but she's very stoic at times. Charlize Theron, like, yes, we're doing that. But I think tides began to turn a little bit with Furiosa, and then Wonder Woman, and then, like, I'm not comparing her. Those are two iconic roles, but I liked her in this, in that she wasn't like super serious or super badass, like, actually Emily Blunt too was awesome in Edge of Tomorrow. But I like that take on, like, it just felt really human and laid back, and it's weird that I'm applauding Hollywood for doing the right thing after doing the wrong thing for 100 years. But I don't know, man. It's just, I love the way that like women are being handled in action films now, if that makes sense. They're not like the super tough, like Hamilton and Terminator. She had to, like, to transform her body and to be like the ultimate badass. Or Gamora. Like, I liked it. I thought, like, you can have a cool, sensitive angle, but then still be an absolute.
Gamora was in the middle.
Yeah. Right. So you can.
Right.
I love where we're going. I don't know what you think about that, because you watch a lot of action movies as a kid. Like, do you kind of like where that's going? Like, did you like Yvonne's character in this movie?
Oh, the vibe that she gives off in this movie is end of the road. I'm tired. I have all this work to do, and I probably don't have enough time to do it. And I brought back my dad, and I'm kind of pissed at him, but I brought him back at peak dad mode. So he's chipping away. He's chipping away at the exterior, because she tries to pull off a cold exterior, but she can't. She can't do it. It's not in her nature, because you see her childhood. You know what I'm saying? He didn't train her to be super tough. They were talking about how you find the cure for tuberculosis in poop and worms, in the dirt. She knows how to calm herself down.
Breathe.
Talk about science facts. You know what I mean? So she's never been raised angry. And even with the literal extinction of all human life on Earth, she just knows she's got a job to do, because she learned from her dad growing up, You got to do it. This is the way.
Mm-hmm.
Step 1, step 2, we do it in a scientific way. And so if she's got to get on the 50 cal and blow apart white spikes, she'll do it. She'll do it because she's been doing it for years now, 3 years. But at the same time, she shows that, hey, I can mix up some things. I'll eat your terrible MREs. It's because, and again, all of that falls. We get that not from the script necessarily, but just from her delivery. Because I said it before, I'll say it again. The cast is stacked. Can't hate this movie. They give you what the script is missing in their performance.
Absolutely.
That means that they're good, and that means that this movie's good. Shut the hell up. Like, I pulled that from the movie. I'm not reading this from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This is what she gives off.
I really dig her performance in this. And then when he gets back and then he sees his daughter and she's like, I made the sign for you the day you left because I knew you'd come back. I was like, oh man.
Some dirt in the room.
Yeah.
Stop cutting onions.
I gotta tell you something, Norbert. I watch American Ninja Warrior. I almost tear up 5 times watching that show now. I don't know. I guess Evan Mallory's like made me like super emotional. But like watching just watching that when he gets back and then getting back with the team and going to the bar and he's like, I'm not gonna let a guy's daughter who's trying to save his daughter down. Like, that was cool.
Dude, such an arc on that guy.
Yeah.
Very low key arc.
Mm-hmm.
He starts off, Charlie just says straight up, you look like a murderer. And everyone goes, you know what? You do. You kind of do.
Yeah.
And then you come to find out 3 times he's been there. Wait, what? When we watch The Hurt Locker, right? This guy, he keeps going back. What's his name? Hawkeye. Renner. He keeps going back to play with bombs in Iraq. Why does he keep going back? Because the action's the juice, baby.
Yeah.
The action's the juice. But Edwin Hodge here, actually, I'm going to be dead 6 months anyway, so let me just do something interesting rather than just sit in a hospital bed and die in hospice. I was like, you know what? Point taken.
Yeah.
Point taken. And then, we're not Team Eaton. I understand.
I love that line.
Threat. So everything that he puts out there, initially it comes across as smug, I don't talk to rookies. But once you get face first thrown into the situation, you get it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, we are all going to die, man. Like, there is no point. If somebody's wounded, sorry, bro. Deuces. I'm out. Mm-hmm. I gotta go. And he comes around because it's a really good point. Who's going to tell a dude, to kiss my ass when he says, please help me save my daughter? No one.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the situation they're in.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
It's another mission for him.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? As we say in Korea, 어쩌라고, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
And then they get on snowmobiles, they go to Russia, fight the aliens, and then the queen rips her arm off. So cool. And then squishes beautifully on the ground. But when I saw that, like, I'm trying to think of a great visual, but like Key and Peele, when they're talking about Liam Neeson, they start running back and forth because they're so excited.
That's right, Liam Neeson.
And then they just start running back and forth. Like, that's me when I saw that alien bite its arm off. I just I was like, well, that's amazing.
Well, you shouldn't like that, Mark, because that's derivative from zombie movies.
Yeah.
Where they chop the arm off above the bite. It's derivative, you see. It's derivative. Ugh. Shut up.
Oh, man.
Watch the movie. It was awesome.
Did you say die? Like, yeah. Well, and then Sam Richardson plops right next to him.
That was great. He came out of nowhere. Yeah, so it's rest time now.
Yeah.
Where were you, dude? We needed you.
Oh, he's amazing. And dude, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but in Werewolves Within, he's hilarious in that movie.
Great,
dude. Werewolves.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a game. That's to show you how old I am. I didn't even know it was a game first. It's awesome. I love it.
He's funny, man. Like, we immediately started reading about him. Like, where can we find this guy? Like, in VP was funny.
VP nails it. He nails it.
I love his delivery. He has a very
earnest.
Earnest. None of it feels fit. You know what? That's probably why he can pull off. Like, if that was maybe another actor, that humor might feel forced, but he's so earnest with his delivery in it. Because Tomorrow War is a very earnest movie, man.
There is hope, brother.
Yeah.
There is hope. And I'm telling you all right now, okay, dear listener, there was a time when I was a child in the 80s and we found out that there was a hole in the ozone layer. and it was massive. And ozone is what protects us from radiation. In other words, it keeps the Earth from being like a microwave on the inside. And the thing that was causing this was the stuff that came out of refrigerators called CFCs and propellant that you use in the hairspray gel, which was big at the time because people loved bands like Poison. We called them hair bands.
Yeah.
They had big spiky hair. So we would go around my junior high school telling kids, hey, why don't you use this gel instead of this propellant can? And we switched. And eventually the world got their shit together and they made actual regulations. And we have cut down the amount of CFCs by like almost 100%. And the ozone layer is going to be perfect in the 2070s because it's healing. Regulations work. Working together works. None of this stuff is irreversible if we just work together. Hint from this movie, actual real life example. You can do it too. I'm Norbert Morvan.
Save the world.
Save the world. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
I love this movie, Norbert. I don't care.
So do I. Neither do I. Love it.
I have so many notes on this thing. I read so much from the director. But yeah, it's just, the director said like he just wanted to blend all the things he loved. It's like a character study, a family story, sci-fi story. It's just a good movie. And I'm happy we talked about it because, listen, it did really well on Amazon. So I know you and I are talking about like critics, but it crushed it. And I mean,
it crushed it, bro.
Like, I watched that Terminal List with Chris Pratt. I'm not that big of a fan, but it's crushing it. It's very dour. I wasn't that big of a fan of it, but it's crushing it. Like Jurassic World, 900 million. So I guess we kind of complain about, or Dominion. I guess we kind of complain about, articles, but at the end of the day, like he just keeps storming.
He's just cranking it out. He DGAF, as the kids say. He's just getting money. He secured the bag.
That's true. Now he's Mario. But so many people.
Now he's Mario.
Yeah. So many people are bad. But listen, man, I'm really glad we talked this movie. I love this movie. I want to go watch it again. Sir. I'm glad I watched it. Like it's been almost a year, so I was glad I went back and checked it out. So this was great. Hey, where can people find you?
At Eddie Kane on Twitter and Norbert Morvan on SoundCloud. I'm going to go get me a jar of pickles and a bottle of baby oil, man. And just take care of the afternoon.
You can find me right behind you. It's really creepy. All right, yeah, no, I'm glad we talked about this movie. This was fun. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Norbert Morvan, this is Movie Social Flicks. We'll see you next